Doshan! What's up, people? I see you elsewhere. This is Undefeatable Twilight. Very late on Wednesday nights. Just was at the munch, just came back. But I'm not skipping my chapter this week. I'm gonna do it. So here we go. Oh, make sure. I need to make a new on being transgender video. I'm way overdue for one of those. I keep meaning to make a new one. I just keep putting it off because I've had loads of developments and that. But this is story time, so let's read. Chapter 35. They went to Arthur's house in the West Country, shoved a couple of towels and stuff in a bag, and then sat down to do what every galactic hitchhiker ends up spending most of his time doing. They waited for a flying saucer to come by. A friend of mine did this for 15 years, said Arthur one night as they sat forlornly watching the sky. Who was that? Called Ford Prefect. He caught himself doing something he had never really expected to do again. He wondered where Ford Prefect was. By an extraordinary coincidence, the following day there were two reports in the paper, one concerning the most astonishing incident with the flying saucer, and the other about a series of unseemly riots in pubs. Ford Prefect turned up the day after that looking hungover and complaining that Arthur never answered the phone. In fact, he looked extremely ill, not merely as if he'd been pulled through a hedge backwards, but as if the hedge was being simultaneously pulled backwards through a combine harvester. He staggered into Arthur's sitting room, waving aside all offers of support, which was an error because the effort of waving caused him to lose his balance altogether, and Arthur had eventually to drag him to the sofa. "Thank you," said Ford. "Thank you very much." "Have you?" he said, and fell asleep for 3 hours. I like this book, it's funny. My patch is coming off. I'll get to that later, don't worry, I'll explain that in a future video. The faintest idea, he continued suddenly when he revived, how hard it is to tap into the British phone system from the Pleiades. "I can see that you haven't, so I'll tell you," he said, over the very large mug of black coffee that you were about to make me. He followed Arthur wobblily, that's hard to say, into the kitchen. "Stupid operators keep asking you where you're calling from, and you try and tell them Letchworth, and they say you couldn't be if you're coming in on that circuit. What are you doing? Making you some black coffee?" "Oh." Ford seemed oddly disappointed. He looked about the place forlornly. "What's this?" he said. "Rice Krispies. And this?" "Paprika." "I see," said Ford solemnly, and put the two items back down, one on top of the other, but that didn't seem to balance properly, so he put the other on top of the one, and that seemed to work. "A little space lagged," he said. "What was I saying? About not phoning from Letchworth?" "I wasn't. I explained this to the lady. Bugger Letchworth, I said, if that's your attitude. I am, in fact, calling from a sales scout ship of the Sirius Cybernetics Corporation, currently on the sub-lightspeed leg of a journey between the stars known to your world, though not necessarily to you, dear lady." "I said dear lady," explained Ford Prefect, "because I didn't want her to be offended by my implication that she was an ignorant cretin." "Tactful," said Arthur Dent. "Exactly," said Ford. "Tactful." He frowned. "Space lag," he said, "is very bad for subclauses. You'll have to assist me again," he continued, "by reminding me what I was talking about." "Between the stars," said Arthur, "known to your world, known not necessarily to you, dear lady, as Pleiades Epsilon and Pleiades Zeta," concluded Ford triumphantly. "This conversation, Lark, is quite a gas, isn't it? Have some coffee?" "Thank you, no. And the reason," I said, "why I am bothering you with it, rather than just dialing direct as I could, because we have some pretty sophisticated telecommunications equipment out here in the Pleiades, I can tell you, is that the penny-pinching son of a star beast piloting this son of a star beast starship insists that I call collect. Can you believe that?" And could she? "I don't know. She had hung up," said Ford, by this time. "So, what do you suppose," he asked fiercely, "I did next?" "I have no idea, Ford," said Arthur. "Pity," said Ford. "I was hoping you could remind me. I really hate those guys, you know. They really are the creeps of the cosmos, buzzing around the celestial infinite with their junky little machines that never work properly, or, when they do, perform functions that no sane man would require of them, and," he added savagely, "go beep to tell you when they've done it." This was perfectly true, and a very respectable view widely held by right-thinking people, who are largely recognisable as being right-thinking people by the mere fact that they hold this view. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, in a moment of reasoned lucidity which is almost unique among its current tally of 5,975,509 pages, says of the Sirius Cybernetics Corporation products that it is very easy to be blinded to the essential uselessness of them by the sense of achievement you get from getting them to work at all. In other words, and this is the rock-solid principle on which the whole of the corporation's galaxy-wide success is founded, their fundamental design flaws are completely hidden by their superficial design flaws. And this guy, ranted Ford, was on a drive to sell more of them. His 5-year mission to seek out and explore strange new worlds and sell advanced music substitute systems to their restaurants, elevators and wine bars. Or if they didn't have restaurants, elevators and wine bars yet, to artificially accelerate their civilization growth until they bloody well did have. Where's that coffee? I threw it away. Make some more. I have now remembered what I did next. I saved civilization as we know it. I knew it was something like that. He stumbled determinedly back into the sitting room, where he seemed to carry on talking to himself, tripping over the furniture and making beep beep noises. A couple of minutes later, wearing his very placid face, Arthur followed him. Ford looked stunned. "Where have you been?" he demanded. "Making some coffee," said Arthur, still wearing his very placid face. He had long ago realised that the only way of being in Ford's company successfully was to keep a large stock of very placid faces and wear them at all times. "You missed the best bit," raged Ford. "You missed the bit where I jumped the guy. Now," he said, "I shall have to jump him, all over him." He hurled himself recklessly at a chair and broke it. "It was better," he said sullenly, "last time," and waved vaguely in the direction of another broken chair which he had already got trussed up on the dining table. "I see," said Arthur, casting a placid eye over the trussed-up wreckage. "And, what are all the ice cubes for?" "What?" screamed Ford. "What? You missed that bit too? That's the suspended animation facility. I put the guy in the suspended animation facility. Well, I had to, didn't I?" "So it would seem," said Arthur in his placid voice. "Don't touch that!" yelled Ford. Arthur, who was about to replace the phone, which was for some mysterious reason lying on the table off the hook, paused placidly. "Okay," said Ford, calming down. "Listen to it." Arthur put the phone to his ear. "It's the speaking clock," he said. "Beep, beep, beep," said Ford. "It's exactly what's being heard all over that guy's ship. While he sleeps in the ice, going slowly round a little-known moon of Sassafras Magna, the London speaking clock." "I see," said Arthur again, and decided that now was the time to ask the big one. "Why," he said placidly. "With a bit of luck," said Ford, "the phone bill will bankrupt the buggers." He threw himself, sweating, onto the sofa. "Anyway," he said, "dramatic arrival, don't you think?" Dramatic arrival indeed. "So, Ford Prefect is back. Yay." And a lot of shouting. But I hope you enjoyed that. As always, thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, share and subscribe, and if you are subscribed, be sure to ding that notification bell so you know when I make a new video, because I can do it whenever I feel like it. I've gotten really used to saying that now. I'm going to do that really quickly. Thanks to my patron Angel. If you want to support me on Patreon, have me read one of your stories, consider doing so. I know I'm probably not the most famous YouTube channel ever, but if you want someone to read one of, like, a story you wrote, maybe you can give me a few quid. It's not much. It's like only, I think, £2 tier for something like a short story, 1,000 words. So yeah, if you want me to read one of your stories, then feel free. You can do that if you want. And also, if you like books, you can check out Angel's Amazon pages, because Angel's a writer, and he writes. Angel is my housemate, by the way. I'm not sure if that really comes across in my past videos, but Angel is my housemate, and he is a self-published and self-employed writer, and he writes a lot of books. And yeah, book sales do help us. His books are very good. I've read quite a few of them myself, and they are pretty good. So you should definitely check them out. Links to the Amazon pages and my Patreon page will be in the description, as always. So thank you for your support. Whatever form it comes in, please take care of yourselves and each other. Remember to keep a positive frame of mind. It might be difficult in these trying times, as always, but it's always best to stay positive whenever you can. So, love and peace. See you next time. I will do that on being transgender video. Probably not tomorrow, because I will be having an inspection tomorrow, so I don't really know if I'll have much time to record a video, but I will get it done at some point soon. So until then, love and peace.